best. We're on a farm in Clark County. Small Washington family farms like this one are facing major challenges from seemingly every angle, from local water regulations to fighting to keep up with the minimum wage, to now new concerns around the current political landscape.
They have put so many roadblocks in front of us.
We're getting hit from all sides.
From these Southwest Washington fields to the halls of the legislature in Olympia, what can be done to help these local operations? It's our big story tonight. For the owners of busy farms in Vancouver, Washington, farming is more than a full-time job.
This is a lifestyle. Yes, absolutely.
Joe Zimmerman's family has owned the 105-acre farm for a long time.
In 1872, my great-great-grandparents came here and settled.
Well, I'm kind of the owner of the place. It means heritage to me. All my family has worked and worked to put this together and to build what's here, and there's a lot of history behind what's here, you know.
They grow fresh fruits and vegetables and sell them out of this year-round farm store.
So really it's about, like I said, being able to keep our doors open and being able to please those customers.
Which is becoming harder to do.
We really feel a connection to this community, to the people of this community, you know.
I thought at my age that I would be pretty well set and, you know, I'd be in good, you know, kind of the happy golden years kind of thing. And boy, it sure hasn't worked out that way for us.
So we're getting hit from all sides.
The farm has 145 employees, each earning minimum wage. In Washington, that's about $16 an hour, among the highest in the country.
It's tremendous. It's tremendous.
And the farm relies on immigrants for much of the field work.
Most of them have continued to come and go to Mexico and the Portland area for the last, let's say, 15 to 20 years.
President Donald Trump's recent executive orders cracking down on immigration and increasing deportations has Joe and his family looking at potential long-term impacts to the farm.
At what point are our employees able to go back to Mexico and then can't come back?
Creating a vacuum, a hole that has to be filled someplace.
And then there's more immediate challenges, like a Clark County water regulation.
It's been a real frustrating road.
Limiting the amount of fresh water they can use to water their fields, resulting in fewer crops.
A whole lot of the vegetables that we would have normally grown, we had to purchase and bring in. So instead of having costs that were, you know, pennies, they were dollars.
And it's not just busy farms feeling the pressure. According to recent agricultural census data reported by the Columbian, 187 Washington apple farms closed between 2017 and 2022. Just over 2,000 remain. Here's Michael Shadler, the head of the State Apple Commission.
For small farmers, it's been especially hard. I mean, basically what's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been in one of the most difficult operating environments for Washington farmers and for Washington apple farmers in living memory.
For Washington apple farms, which produce 6.5 billion pounds of apples each year, oversupply paired with skyrocketing production costs are putting small farms out of business.
We'll see what it looks like on the other side, but if we turn the corner soon enough, hopefully we can get some of those small growers to stay in the industry.
The Washington legislature, in my estimation, they have got to step up and they've got to take and put some measures in place.
There are a lot of economic challenges to being a small farmer in Washington State.
Washington State Representative Adam Birnbaum, a Democrat from the Olympic Peninsula, is sponsoring several bills this legislative session aimed at strengthening the agricultural industry. They include grants to help small farms get organic certifications and making it easier for senior citizens to access local produce.
We can do a lot more, and I think that the challenge in this year is going to be to try and find places where we can protect the small farming infrastructure that's already in place, and hopefully expand a few programs to make it a little bit easier for folks.
It's this thing of, at what point do people finally say, I've had enough? You know, I have all of these agencies that want a little piece of flesh, you know, and at what point do you just bleed to death because you don't have enough flesh to give? You know, that's it. Yeah.
Now, as of today, both of those bills sponsored by Representative Adam Birnbaum have been introduced to the House and are now in committee. Now, while we're talking about the farming industry and with the cold weather on the way, I wanted to see if the potential for freezing temps and snow was adding yet another layer of stress to the busy farm operations. Here's what Joe told me today.
Generally, snow's not going to be a problem. If we had snow in, say, May, that would be problematic because we're getting into our planting season. But as long as it's before, say, 1st or mid-April, it should be fine. We don't have any plants in the ground right now that wouldn't be able to push through it. The worst case is that we would have some, for us, we do some flower baskets in our greenhouses, and that would cause us to burn some more propane to heat the greenhouses. But that would be our only impact, yeah.
All right, speaking of weather impacts, what better time to bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino? Matt, all eyes are on the chance for snow in the next few days. What's the latest?
Hey, Blair, yeah, we're going to be fine the next couple of days here in the valley. The Cascades already seeing heavy snow. You can see some intrepid snowboarders and skiers applying the powder.
Oh, wow.
Skiing, right? Looks great.
It looks fun, though, honestly.
Totally fun. 7 inches new at last check. It is windy. It's gusting at nearly 40 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
But, you know, down on the slopes and the trees at timberline, it's a little bit protected. But look at these snowfall totals over the next, this runs out like 10 days, right? 40, 50 inches, and that is not unrealistic. We can do that in the Cascades, so it's going to be a productive week. Here's a look at Mountain Hood day by day. Tomorrow, between tonight and tomorrow, 12 to 20 inches of new snow. Tomorrow's snow level, about 1,000 feet. Then it drops to 500 feet Sunday, Monday. Snow keeps coming up in the Cascades. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm putting the snow level around 200 feet. Gets a little bit colder. That's when the valley snow threat will ramp up just a bit if we can get some organized snow showers moving on through. But for the Cascades, high avalanche danger, so be aware of that if you're heading out of the backcountry or cross-country skiing. Slippery roads, drivers, and it will be slippery from much lower elevation than it has been. So it means you're going to be driving in snow for a lot longer than we have any time so far this winter. Valley rain showers tomorrow, but a rain-snow mix on Sunday. For the most part, not an issue. Don't expect any sticking snow unless you're in the hills above 500 feet, and that's mainly on Sunday night. Cascades we talked about there, right? There's a winter storm warning in the Cascades and the Coast Range. I'm not going to leave the Coast Range out of this. If you're driving to the coast this weekend, unless you're going Highway 30, you're going to be driving through some snow in the passes of the Coast Range. Same down into California and the winter storm warning, the entire range of the Cascades up into BC. So right now, snow up on the mountain. The valley's had a nice break this afternoon, but now you see some more showers beginning to fill in, Blair. But again, it's just rain showers. We'll stay above freezing tonight, and tomorrow's snow level about 1,000 feet.
Do we have a chance, quick question, do we have a chance for freezing rain or freezing roads here in Portland?
You know, that's a great question. And yes, on freezing roads as it gets below freezing in the days ahead, but no on freezing rain.
Okay.
This is not January of last year when we had that widespread freezing rain event. It's either going to be snow or rain because of the structure of the atmosphere. We're not going to have that warm layer aloft with rain liquid falling into the sub-freezing air at the surface. It'll all be snow above, has a chance to melt into rain as it comes down to lower elevation. So that's one of the good things about this. Now, speaking of rain, we picked up 3/4 of an inch, a little bit more in Portland. What does that do to our monthly total? It helps, but you know, at the end of the month, we're over 2 inches below average, and now a little bit below average for the storm season beginning back on October 1st. We'll make up some ground in the next couple of days on the storm season total, right? So for tomorrow, mostly cloudy in the morning, should be dry. If you want to get out, I know you run.
Yes, I do.
So go early. It'll be cold but dry, and then showers in the afternoon, but just rain showers. We're at 52 right now. So this is a good time to get outside because it's a warm evening for us. Tomorrow, rain, showers, and sun breaks, and then the snow level, as I mentioned, Blair, drops down to about 500 feet Sunday, Monday. But watching Tuesday night and into Wednesday, could see a little bit more widespread snow shower activity then.
Okay, so big question for you. Are you going skiing this weekend?
Absolutely, yes.
That's what I thought.
I'm going up a little bit later, though, so I'll miss the crush in the morning. But yeah, we'll be up there.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks so much, Matt.
You bet.
All right, now as we talk about cooler temps in the region, recent years have brought a spike in hypothermia-related deaths across the country and in the Pacific Northwest. Meteorologist Leah Pizzetti with our Environment Northwest team looks at the factors adding to the increase and what's being done to stop it.
On a night approaching freezing in Kent,
Hello.
one woman approaches everyone with warmth.
Hi. My name's Tina and I'm with Salvation Army Street Level.
She's helped hundreds find jobs and a home.
It's pretty cold out here right now, and what we really like to do is try and work on eliminating those barriers and putting you into some housing.
As the Street Level team does their January rounds,
Hi guys.
a driving factor motivates them.
How you doing?
Hypothermia.
Try and stay warm. Hypothermia is real.
An invisible, silent risk.
911 emergency. With the winter months, it's the complications that hypothermia adds to the calls we already go on.
King County's Medic 1 paramedic and division chief Evan Van Otten says hypothermia can be the nail in the coffin when it comes to survival for anyone needing medical help.
If it's a medical emergency like an overdose or a heart attack, if you add hypothermia into that, it increases mortality and morbidity.
There's been a recent spike in hypothermia-related deaths, both nationally and locally. I pulled data from the last 20 years for both King County and Washington State, and the numbers show a similar trajectory. From 2005 to 2014, the number of hypothermia-related deaths in King County was 5 to 6 people per year, and statewide was 31 to 32 people per year. Those numbers skyrocketed in the decade after. From 2015 to 2024, in King County, the number of people who died from hypothermia tripled to 16 to 17 people, and statewide doubled to 63 to 64 people dying per year. Now, experts are trying to get to the root cause of why deaths are on the rise.
This invisible killer is something National Weather Service meteorologist Reed Wolcott is studying.
You don't know that you're in trouble until it may be too late to mitigate some of those impacts.
Yeah, it's not as in your face as a hurricane or tornado.
Yes, you don't have things being thrown at you.
He's part of a national team currently developing the framework for new cold weather products, which will vary nationally, region by region, because different parts of the country are better equipped for winter weather extremes.
Up in the upper Midwest, you're talking negative 30 degrees for a cold weather advisory.
Looking at recent history, the 3 deadliest months in King County when it comes to hypothermia correlate exactly with extreme weather events.
So when we're seeing these weather events that are more extreme, we see the direct result in fatalities.
Yes, absolutely.
A massive snowstorm in February of 2019 killed 11 people. The December 2022 ice storm left 12 people dead, and the January 2024 cold snap killed 12. Reed says the cause is not just cold, but the addition of winter weather.
I haven't seen a real clear signal of increasing cold weather events, but there have been numerous winter weather events over the course of this time frame.
So factoring cold with precipitation, ice, snow.
Yeah, that combination, the cascading impacts.
But he says they're looking into other factors as well.
But it may be that we have a greater population of those experiencing homelessness or those with underlying medical conditions.
In King County's data that details hypothermia deaths in the last 20 years, there are many people who were unhoused, but there were also people who did have homes. An 89-year-old woman named Velma, who was found on the concrete outside her house by a neighbor in 2023. 75-year-old Riley, who was found in an unheated house during frigid temperatures in 2022. Those just a few of the people with homes. However, people living outside are feeling the brunt of this impact. King County's annual homeless count shows an increase in the unhoused population in the last decade. There were close to 9,000 unhoused people in 2014 to now more than 16,000 in 2024.
We have not even hit our coldest spell for Washington yet.
People like Tina see that trend.
So more people are out on the streets. They've lost their homes. Foreclosures, apartment rents have gone up.
And as someone who once lived on the streets herself and knows the brutal reality,
it's going to get really cold out here.
She's making sure everyone finds warmth this winter.
To see the tears flow from their eyes, like they have faith and they have some hope, and you've taken that inside of you and it's made them happy. That's a big deal.
For Environment Northwest, I'm meteorologist Leah Pizzetti.
Experts say there's no firm answer on just how cold it has to get for someone to die from hypothermia. Data over the last 20 years shows the Seattle area temperatures were fatal from the teens to as warm as the mid-50s. So there's a lot of factors at play. Now, here at home, the Multnomah County Medical Examiner's Office has not investigated any suspected hypothermia deaths during the past 2 weeks of cooler weather here. I'm also told emergency room visits and 911 calls for cold-related illnesses have remained at normal levels. Multnomah County only opens severe weather shelters once certain thresholds are met. That's when one of the following are forecast to last for 4 hours or more between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. If forecasted temps are 25 or below, shelters open. They can also open if there's an inch of snow or more, or if temperatures are just below freezing when there's driving rain of an inch or more. All right, coming up next on the story, a new survey shows what voters think is the biggest issue in the Portland metro area. It's not necessarily a surprise, but there are some positive takeaways from the data that are worthwhile. Plus, we'll feature some of your thoughts on our segment from last night, looking at the fluoride in drinking water debate that's happening in parts of Southwest Washington. That's all next when the story returns. Last night, we told you about the ongoing debate over fluoride in city drinking water. The cities in Southwest Washington are talking about it now. Longview held a meeting inviting a panel of experts to talk about both sides of the argument. Those arguments essentially boil down to those who think fluoride in water is safe at current levels and beneficial for healthy teeth, and those who are concerned about fluoride affecting brain development in young kids. Last year, a federal judge ordered the EPA to further regulate how much of the chemical is allowed in drinking water. Camas and Battleground are also taking on the fluoride debate. None of them have made any decisions yet. They're just getting the discussion started. But plenty of you filled our inboxes with your thoughts, with a fairly even split on opinions on both sides. Dean told us, "I went to a dentist in Portland for a normal dental checkup. They knew I was not from the greater Portland area or the state of Oregon based on my teeth. My teeth were really doing well. Kind of tells me something about fluoridation." Now, Portland is the largest big city in the U.S. to not have any fluoride in the drinking water. Voters have rejected the idea for decades, but Vancouver does use fluoride. This past election, the city of Hillsborough rejected the idea pretty strongly. More than 58% of voters turned it down. And not very many places in Oregon use it either. Beaverton and Salem do, along with McMinnville, Corvallis, Scappoose, Florence, and a few other small cities. But most of Oregon does not. Now, in our story last night, we heard from a Longview city councilman who wanted to save the money the city would spend on fluoride and use it for chlorine instead. Our viewer Bill didn't love that idea. He wrote, the Longview councilman that wants to convert the fluoride tank to the chlorine tank to save $200K is being penny wise and pound foolish. It will cost his community, both young and old, much, much more in pain, dollars, and school focus and absenteeism. Viewer Sharon called and left us a voicemail. She has concerns about where the fluoride comes from.
Natural fluoride is great. I grew up in the Willamette Valley where there was natural fluoride. My teeth were perfect until I came to Portland and so forth. But I don't know that artificial fluoride is great for us.
And Manuela told us for her, fluoride is not worth the risk. She wrote, we live in the country and have well water. My 6 kids grew up with well water and obviously no fluoride. They have had no problem with cavities. I say if there is even a small chance that fluoride could cause brain development issues, I would think the risk of cavities is far more preferable than brain damage. All right, we'll keep an eye on any discussions that are made in Longview, Camas, or Battleground regarding fluoride in the water, and we'll keep you posted. Now to the city of Portland, where a new survey of voters in the region found fewer people think we're on the wrong track when compared to years past. So basically, voters that participated are slightly more optimistic about the direction of the metro region. According to the survey, homelessness is still the biggest issue, and there's also plenty of frustration over the cost of living. But there are indications that some areas are improving. Catherine Cook has the story.
Portland Perspective. The latest poll by the Portland Metro Chamber offers a slice of it. Every December, they team up with DHM Research to conduct a hybrid survey to get a pulse on voters' top priorities. They heard from 700 people, 300 in Portland and 400 from Clackamas, Multnomah, and Washington counties. This past year, 36% of them said the county they live in is on the wrong track. But 3 years ago, 62% felt that way.
36% is not a particularly great number historically, but coming from where we were to finally start to see some improvements is worth calling out. It's notable.
John Horwick is Senior Vice President at DHM Research. He noted several recovery points in the survey from extreme lows in recent years. Take homelessness. 35% of those polled said it's the most pressing issue. That's down from 40% in 2023, but it still tops all other concerns.
Right behind that are things like housing affordability, crime and public safety, cost of living.
We spoke with a few people at random, and their opinions seem to reflect the larger sample.
They just need to work on the homeless situation, and everything's getting higher, but not pay wages.
I think one thing that definitely needs to change is the housing prices and just like accessibility to housing as well.
Kay Floyd works downtown. She's noticed big changes here in recent months, especially around the holidays. The survey found overall visitation is up over last year. 2/3 of voters said they visited downtown at least once in the past month. That's up from half of voters in 2023.
I think people in general are feeling a lot safer. We had so many families come down during the holidays. The park was transformed into a snow day village. We had snowfalls, we had fire pits. Yeah, just hope we keep going up.
If this survey is any indication, so do a lot of people.
We still have a long way to go, and we can move in a positive direction.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Now, something else the survey noted, and this goes along with the concern over cost of living, voters are hesitant to say yes to additional taxes. Instead, they're more willing to trim certain services before paying more, though the survey did not specify which services or how much to trim. All right, now it's your turn to chime in. What do you think the biggest issue is here in the metro region? Do you agree that it's homelessness? Why or why not? And how about that taxes versus services angle? Willing to pay more taxes or trim services? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave a voicemail, 503-226-5090.
Stick with us. We're right back after this. Well, that is the end of our show, folks. Thanks so much for watching. The good stuff is coming your way next. And don't forget, everyone has a story to tell. If you missed a show earlier this week, you can stream the story on your own schedule. Download the free KGW Plus app, available now on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you right back here on Monday night at 6:30.